Hello everybody and welcome to today's vlog. Now as you can see it's really snowy outside and William's out there playing with the dog. I'm unfortunately housebound as I had a really quite serious injury last Monday, so that was 8 days ago. We were out playing with the horses and I was underneath one of the horses, Madge, as they all spooked and broke their head collars, and I was actually underneath her picking her feet out. And unfortunately I ended up trampled by 4 of them, which was really quite a horrible injury. So I've got crushed ribs and I've also got a crushed right foot, which is why I'm not turning the camera on myself. I'm only just sort of up and mobile now. But yeah, since then the world's gone crazy. It's all white and snowy again. So we thought we'd do a bit of an update on Samber, because Samber's the last of our rescue kittens and he's really cute and he's got to have an operation in a couple of months now. I think it's either a month or 2 months time. But he still hasn't weaned because we have the problem that he has a bad gag reflex. So he's still being bottle fed and people don't believe me that he won't eat. So we're going to show you what the problem is today. And here he is, little Samber. He's got himself in my bedroom. Oh, big yawns for a little baby. I've still got my Christmas pillow out because with having crushed ribs, I've needed as much support as I can possibly get. And that Santa pillow is just awesome, isn't it, Samber? So you get snuggled against the radiator and against Santa, don't you, darling? And that's it, you just go sleepies. But it's just taken Mummy 10 minutes to get upstairs with cracked ribs, so I'm going to have to try and get downstairs again and we'll see about some food. These are the absolute essential items that we use for feeding Samber. Oh, excuse my finger over the lens. I'm not used to using my iPhone. I usually have a proper GoPro camera, but it's on a top shelf and I can't reach it. So we use Gourmet Gold Pate. This is a really good but really expensive cat food. Now as a kitten he should be on kitten food, but we haven't found one yet that does a kitten pate or mousse. We have checked it over with the vet. It's not ideal, so we have to give him some extra supplements as well, some vitamins and some minerals. I'll just try and open this box up. They're really quite tricky to open. Oops. Mind you, everything's tricky to open when you've got cracked ribs. Absolutely nothing works properly. So there we go. And then this is the Purina. Oh, you can see how weak I am. I can't even lift the tins up. Who would have cracked ribs, eh? Hang on, I'll have to go in for an extreme close-up while I do this. Or not. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. Yes, moving about is very difficult with cracked ribs and I couldn't even crack this cardboard open. So we get this box. It's a really great box. It's got chicken and beef and lamb and it's got some turkey and some, I think that's like a salmon-y paste as well. There's loads and loads of different types for them as well in there, which is brilliant. And so what I tend to do is just get one. Let's see if my strength will open a can. Oh yes, it is, yay. Try it with the other hand. Oh, and William's just coming in from the outside. Oh, fantastic. And that is what the pate looks like on the inside, isn't it, William?
Yep.
Perfect. Do you want to scoop some out into his bowl?
Can I do it after I wash my hands?
Wash your hands is always a very good idea. We do try and stay as clean as possible. Now, I don't know if anywhere near you have a chip shop, but we adore these chip shop forks. They are just ideal for absolutely everything. And what we tend to do is once we scoop that out in there, it's really good for mixing it in. And then we use our little funnel to be able to get it in the bottle, which we'll show you in a minute. So here we go, and this is for Samber. Oh, just putting the lid down on the floor for the others to lick. Look at those. Princess Honey, Ike and Poppy. And so we scoop that into there. Now, I know the bowl's dirty, but it's not dirty. It gets washed and sterilised every night. But now he's older, it's not as important to keep it as clean. Like when they're babies, every time they have a feed, we sterilise everything. There we go, they're fighting over that. We'll put some boiling water in there. Oh, that's enough. Not too much. Make it a paste. Yum, yum, yum. And then with that being a mousse, it should just disintegrate down. I should really let William do this because I don't think my ribs are up to mixing and stirring. Okay, you do it. That's a good idea.
I've got cold hands with my hands.
You've got cold hands. Oh yes, you have got cold hands. You've got dirty fingernails.
Yeah, I washed and cleaned them out the other day.
Oh well, the other day. Perfect. So that goes all scoopy, scoopy, scoopy into lots of. So it is purely cat food that's watered down. So that's all Sam Bear's eating anyway. And then if you get the thingy,
The bottle.
the bottle, and then we can show everybody exactly how it works. Put that in, and this is where the chip shop fork comes into its own. Oh, you flicked me. Gross. Blah, 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 blah. And what do we do now with the chip shop fork? Upside down it in. That's it. Lovely. Weaning in general is not an exact science. Sorry, that's got nothing to do with it at all. That's my cup of tea just keeping me alive. It really isn't an exact science, but most kittens do go by a general rule of thumb. And that's sort of about 5 weeks to 8 weeks. The mother cat isn't giving them as much nutrition as what they should be getting. Now, obviously, they're still getting the milk and they're still able to stay alive, but they still get a bit of hunger. And at this point, the mummy cat's getting a bit fed up of them as well, so she's not wanting them to suckle as much. Now, with rescue kittens, you don't really have this problem. So about 5 weeks, and especially 5 weeks of bottle feeding, you want them off that as quickly as humanly possible, because bottle feeding a kitten is an awful lot of work. Now that's where these things are great, because with it being the pate, we always use a baby spoon, so it's nice and gentle. We have 2 different types of baby spoon, and it really depends on the kitten as to which one they prefer. Now this is a really, really shallow one, like just a tiny scoop. I'd say 90% of the kittens that we've had would wean from this scoop, but then you do get the odd messy one that's just not quick at doing it, and sometimes it's better to pop it in their mouths, and you can almost scrape it on the back of their teeth a little bit just so that they get the taste a little bit more with this one, whereas with that it would tend to come off. So some need a little bit of an extra push. They're not normally on this for very long, probably only a week at most, before they realise that they can chew and that they're hungry and that they like chewing. And this is a really, really good supermarket's own. I think this one's Sainsbury's. It is. It's a Sainsbury's supermarket own. And it's got all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the juices that they need. And this is just a really, really, really small nugget that's really palatable for all babies. And it's sort of from 2 months, so 8 weeks, as soon as they've finished on the mousse, 8 weeks to a year old. Most of the supermarkets will do their own brand, and it is a really good thing to do. So usually they'll be on milk, either mum's milk or bottle milk, until about 5 weeks old, and then you really do want them eating as quickly as possible. But then we have Sam Bear, and he just won't eat at all. He prefers to choke on his food, and so I will show you now what happens for us. And here he is, the star of the show. Yay, Sam Bear. Now, we don't normally feed him here, obviously, because it's a very, very false environment on a table. But to be honest, Sam Bear will eat anywhere. Won't you, darling? What's this? Oh, are you not full?
I found him fast asleep upstairs.
Where's your fast asleep is? Well, this isn't going to work very well, because we're all about weaning kittens. And you normally go crazy over a bottle. There we go. Nom 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 nom. Now, if you look on his nostrils, you will see that there is a little bit of snottles.
And his eyes funky.
In his eye, yeah. Now, he did come to us with cat flu, but this is just seasonal flu because it is really horrible outside. His eye, even though it looks puffy, really isn't. He gets regular checks over from the vet. So what's happened with his eye is because he had cat flu, the skin sealed over on his eye, but because he's still got a perfectly functioning eye underneath it, what he does is he still blinks. And so that you can see,
That's literally the only bit you can see through.
it's just blinky gunk.
And you can see through that eye.
You can see his eye underneath it. There we go, look, he's just blinked again. So he's got a perfectly functioning eye underneath there. We just have to wait till he's old enough for his operation. I was a bit worried, Sam Bear, then, that you were off your food because you've never not eaten your food. Now, when you have a baby kitten, the last thing you ever do is to squeeze on the bottle because you can actually flood the babies out, which can lead to pneumonia, which can lead to killing them. However, because this is really chunky food, you don't squeeze as such, but just add a little bit of pressure. And that's so that all he has to do is chew on the end of the nipple and he can get the food out. And when we say chew on the end of the nipple, that's really what he does. We get through more nipples than I like to think about. But that is us, and that is our Sam Bear. If you have any questions or anything like that, please do comment below. Because even though we're very, very new to this kitten rescue, we've had the vet on standby every single step of the way with everything that we've done with all of the kittens. And so if I don't know the answer, I'm sure I know a lady who does. And what do you say, William?
Hit that like button and subscribe button. Peace.